Moving on from the gas-fired nailers, we're now moving to the cartridge-fired nails. Okay, this is the Hilti DX450 model. There are some later ones and there's some earlier ones. This particular nailer uses a strip of cartridges to fire the nail in, and individual nails. As you can see, this particular fixing tool uses a nail with a washer on the end. This is to actually guide it to ensure that it seats correctly in what you could potentially call a barrel. Okay. The much earlier ones would have individual cartridges, and they would be color-coded. Okay, depending on the strength in which you want, depending on what you're shooting or firing the nail into, will depend on the color of the cartridge. They range from black, with a very heavy-duty cartridge, putting a nail into steel, or very lightweight cartridge, if you like to call it a lightweight, low velocity cartridge, a yellow, right, for a lot lighter work. This particular model, we can use the same cartridge, and here we have some red color-coded cartridges. They seem to be about the best, although you can get different coloured cartridges in strips. These seem to be the best all-rounder. And we can adjust the depth of our nail by adjusting the screw here on the end. And looking at the dial, we can increase or decrease depending what we're fixing it. Okay, as you can clearly see, there is a warning on these tools that this is going to produce noise levels above 90 decibels. So you will need to wear ear defenders to protect your ears. To load this, we slip the cartridges in the hand grip. We need to load a nail, and by doing that we need to slip that in there, pull back on this handle and lift, being very careful not to lose the nail, and push down as always, that's it, and relock the loading device. As you can see by the diagram, you have to ensure that the nail goes the right way round. It's in reverse in the loader, this part here, so that as you turn it over to load it into the barrel, the nail is facing the correct way. Okay, adjust it to what strength you initially would want to try, and it is a little bit of trial and error. Even the makers suggest that you trial and error with the first two shots. Okay, you might find that you need to adjust it after the first shot because the nail is not being knocked home far enough, or it's going too deep. Alright, so fire the first shot, take note of what's happening with the nail into the material and adjust accordingly. To fire this, we need some safety glasses and earmuffs. Normally you'd wish to use this nailer to fix timber, being carpenters, into blockwork, or a soft building material into something that's a lot harder as a permanent fixing. But as you can see there, if we were fixing a piece of wood that was clearly fixed up to that concrete block, as you can see, I've purposely aimed and put the nail in the centre of the block. There is a danger when using these that you get too close to edges, and what will happen is that you will break that concrete away, or splinter the concrete, crack it, and possibly have that nail ricochet up the side of the block. So be very conscious of where you're putting the nail. It needs to be ideally in the centre of your material, and again ensuring if I wanted to put another nail in there and wanted it to go deeper, I would ensure that I would turn that to maximum. Alright, so it's all about looking at the first shot, assessing whether it wants to go deeper in the material you're fixing, or you need to make it a little bit shallower, alright, so it's not penetrating too deep. But we have, with that, a nice firm fixing. That is in a concrete block. Ideally we use these in concrete and steel RSJs. They're ideal for fixing timbers to things like RSJs. For instance, a carpenter may need to fire check a steel RSJ. In other words, put buttons around it and then plasterboard, alright, to give that a fire check.